I have seen families in shock. I've seen families rejoicing to celebrate a life, and everything in between. And knowing that I can give moms a lifeline that maybe they don't know that they need the time of their loss is really powerful. I take everything I can possibly think to take. If I can get their eyelashes, if I can get their hair, the top of their head, the contour of their body, I do as much as I can get. And in cases where maybe the baby's been gone so long that there is a lot of breakdown, I work with what I've got. At the bare minimum, I get the palms of the hands and the bottoms of the feet. I'll work on swaddling the baby up, maybe camouflaging areas of breakdown, and I do my best to give them the best shot of their face and their profile, things that I would want to remember if it were me.
To me, it shows our whole family. It's all we have. So it's very important to me. And it was, I remember as we left our house, we knew that our daughter had died, and I went into labor when we left our house. And my husband, as we were getting in the car, my husband said, "Oh, I should run and get the camera." And I looked at him and I said, "Why?" Because we just didn't know what to expect. And so after we got to the hospital and we delivered, the hospital had a camera. And I've always been so thankful. I have each of our children, we have two other daughters, I have each of our children's newborn pictures on our refrigerator. And I have our daughter in the middle, right where she would be, right where she was born. And I look at it every day, but it's a reminder to everyone who comes into my house. I know it's gonna do this. That, oh, you held her. Oh, she looked like a normal baby. Because in the picture she does. So it's pretty important. And they usually say, "Who is this? Is this Isabella or is this Zoe?" And I say, "No, it's Madeline." And then they go, "Oh," I think they get kind of freaked out, actually. They're totally freaked out. They're like, "Oh," and then they don't say anything, and they don't know. And a few people have said, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know. I didn't know that she looked like a normal baby."
I think that photographs trigger memories that maybe we might not remember the emotion as much when we're just thinking of it, but if you see the image of it, I think you get to remember more. I think that moms looking at a photograph holding their baby can remember what it felt like to hold them, how heavy they were, or how light they were, how big, how small. That I think it's a much more tangible way to put that into memory.
The memories fade so fast. The smells, the feelings, the pain, and over the years they really fade even more. But I always have my pictures and my tangible items. Her blanket goes with me everywhere, and we fight over it as a family. I have one picture that I carry with me most of the time. It's this one. It was taken after we bathed her and baptized her and dressed her. for our family and for our children, it has meant a lot of healing, because it has been something that they can see, to know that she is real, was real, and is a part of our family. It means the world, because it's one of the few pictures that I can share with others that doesn't seem to shock them. We've changed her lips and taken some of the blemishes off and just softened some of the sadness out of her skin. And in a way, I had a few regrets that we didn't have more of the Kodak moment as a family. We had the disposable camera that the hospital had, and even though portraits and pictures have been a big part of our children's lives and their milestones, it never occurred to me when she died that I would need a photographer there. My husband still won't look at the originals, and to this day I'm really the only one who can look at the originals and still feel happy and proud of her body. She was just as beautiful and just the same as every other stillborn baby out there. And it made me realize I am not alone, and this is the reality of what our children look like when they go through this trauma. And we need to be comfortable looking at it. And it's beautiful, and her lips are purple, and her fingernails are red. But that's, you know,
the way it is.
It's just the way it is. Birth is not very pretty.
I had one mom. It was a back-to-back loss for her. Didn't know that at the time. She was very concerned that the retouching was going to alter him in such a way that it was misrepresenting him. And I explained to her, we don't want to misrepresent him at all. We want to highlight his characteristics and the things that made him him. We're not going to change anything about him. We're just going to bring out the bruises and things that aren't him. I had one mom that was just adamant she did not want photos. And I pleaded with her nurse, just explained to her that if she's concerned about skin tears, concerned about bruising, and doesn't want to remember him that way, not to worry because I'm going to retouch those out. Family reluctantly agreed. I talked to Mom probably 4 weeks out. Mom was ready for her images. She has no recollection of declining photos. None. And she said that that was her biggest lifeline because she could then look at him every day.
My daughter, Gemma Love Hoffman, was born May 24th, 2011, 19 and a half weeks ago. I spent 5 hours with her. I miss her every minute of the day, which I'm sure you know. When people ask me, how are you? I say a work in progress, because I can't say fine. Fine is a word that no longer exists in my vocabulary. My doula had a service come and take pictures. She just instinctively knew. I mean, the day when she found out, she called someone and had them on call. The girl came and she was very lovely and discreet and polite, and I don't even recall her taking the pictures. When we were just having a moment of love, we all just
kissed her and loved her, and the photographer took these beautiful pictures of that experience, and it's, you know, all I have besides, you know, a small clip of her hair and some prints. I show them to everyone and anyone because it just is, when I can't believe she's not here, it's the thing I go to remember that, oh no, wait, I had a baby. I had a beautiful baby. And I have had friends who asked for a picture of her, and I know it's because they love me that they love her, because the primary relationship was between me and her. I knew her. I had a memorial for her, and about 60 people came, and they all looked at her pictures, and I had a whole like altar to her, and I had blown them up, and my doula made me a book, and then I made myself a travel book of images. There isn't enough. There aren't enough photos in this world.
My photo of Grace is tucked away, and I haven't looked at her picture for a long, long time. In fact, I had a nurse tell me when I said I didn't think we wanted to take pictures, she told me that she had lost a baby herself, and she always wished she had had a picture. And so she kind of convinced my husband and I to take the pictures, and I'm really glad we did, because I know where they are when I'm ready to look at them again. And we went on to have 2 other children, and then we have a son who is older than Grace, and they have said, Mom, could we see a picture of Grace? And I told them, like, you can, but Mommy's not ready to show it to you yet. But one of these days I will.
It's not uncommon for families to come back later and ask, well, didn't you just take 1 or didn't you just take 2? It's a nurse recently told me she's had patients come back for photos that have been left with the chaplain up to 5 years later, and that they have always come back for them.